So, fam, something has just happened, right? Obamagate now. We all know about this. We saw it on the title.
Trump's been tweeting, Obamagate is worse than Watergate.
The question is, and this is the litmus test, which one is bullshit? Obamagate or Russiagate? Because one can't be true without the other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
One has to be true and the other one has to be false. And now, unequivocally, now, and like I said to you before, fam, when it comes to Obamagate, it's like kind of like watching Lost combined with Game of Thrones, right? Game of Thrones, where you have all these great characters, all these different families, through all these little proxy wars, plotting, scheming, you know what I'm saying? It's really confused about what's going on. But it's also like Lost, that if you don't watch it from the beginning, you will be lost. You know, it's like when what was going on halfway through the third season, like, and you're like, guys, pasta, shut up. That's so like end of first season. You don't even know what's going on. You will be lost if you don't follow this along the way. So I could sit here and talk about Obamagate forever to try to explain it. So I'm going to try to break it down as best as we can. What had happened is that newly released transcripts unequivocally proved that there was zero empirical evidence that Trump colluded with the Russians in the election. Mm-hmm. They knew this. It's also another thing to take back is that General Flynn, who was fired, who was kind of all centered around this whole thing, he was a political target, but Obama also sought revenge by sicking his goons, Comey, and the FBI crew, the general into a bullshit lying plea. So in other words, they wanted to move Flynn. And that's the thing. A lot of people, the way the mainstream media kind of portrayed this was that General Flynn was hiding his secrets about Russia. You know what I'm saying? And the whole thing was a maneuver. He didn't admit to lying. He took the plea deal. Because what had happened is McCabe had showed up under the orders of Comey, who were all Clinton, Obama loyalists, Peter Strzok, all these people, you've heard these names before. Mm-hmm. When they found their text messages, people were forced to resign. But what they did is McCabe showed up and told General Flynn, and this is where General Flynn should have been sharper. You know, he's now the national security advisor to Donald Trump. He had his beef with Obama. He knew this, and we'll get into this because I didn't realize the implications and like we said, Game of Thrones and Lost, what had happened. But he should have been prepared because McCabe showed up as an FBI agent saying, hey, I just want to talk about the situation about when you talked to this Russian ambassador on the phone. They really weren't even talking about Russia. They were talking about Israel and whatnot, and sanctions and all this other stuff. But he kind of maneuvered him and tricked him, set him up, because he had the transcript and he had the information to get General Flynn to misspeak or lie or not remember something correctly. General Flynn should have said, I'm not speaking to you until I speak to my lawyer and make sure he was safe. But they took that information, they used it against the general, and then they ruined his fucking life. Okay? The thing about it is remember when Chuck Schumer said, and I have the little video, fam? You mess with the intelligence community, and they'll screw you 6 ways till Tuesday. Let's remember, and I want you to, this is on Rachel Maddow.
Yeah.
Till Sunday. I say till Tuesday, because that was a good group in the 80s. John, if you'd like to play the clip real quick, because this is really important.
But he's taking these shots, this antagonism, this taunting to the intelligence community.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
What do you think?
I mean, like, you know, we know that Jimmy's kind of played this all before, whatnot, the implications of that. But I want you to make sure that we understand the timeline when this is going on. Because when he was saying this, the deep state was planning their plot. Not only were they going to send a message to Donald Trump and say, we're going to take out your national security advisor, okay? But also Obama was letting his rivals know that, hey, man, you screwed with the wrong guy too as well. And I will explain that. Do you have anything to say? You want to talk about that before I go on?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so as suspected, the mainstream media, they egged it on. They never asked any challenging questions. They were a bullhorn for the propaganda that was spewed by the establishment. And I'm talking all of them. Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, they all lied, okay? And it was all at behest of the deep state, intelligence, Obama, Hillary Clinton crew. We don't know. You know, I use that word obfuscation.
Yeah.
At its finest.
What do you mean by deep state specifically?
Okay. Because it's either the intelligence community, the military-industrial complex. The deep state really defines non-elected officials who have jobs within the intelligence community or the military-industrial complex or the Pentagon for years. In other words, somebody who worked for Obama and General Flynn also worked for Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And there's a lot of people like that.
Yep.
There's FBI agents who've worked for 4 administrations, right? So over the past couple years, there's been a lot of loyalists They've been starting to go off different party lines. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of Clinton loyalists, Obama loyalists, Peter Strzok, McCabe. They got caught saying we need to get insurance against Donald Trump. Remember, we got those text messages, and we know. So when I say deep state, I'm pretty much talking, and you can call them whatever you want to call them. I know a lot of people, a lot of latte liberals call, if you use deep state, you're just repeating Sean Hannity.
Right.
That term was used way before Sean Hannity, and all it is to describe unelected officials that still have jobs within the intelligence community with high connections to elitist people who are running the world. That's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Peter Strzok and McCabe, they were in the FBI. They weren't hired or appointed by Donald Trump. They were already there. And that's what's going on right now. The Justice Department is littered with Obama and Democratic loyalists. You know what I'm saying? It had right-wing loyalists too as well, you know, when you had like the Bush clan and the Cheneys and whatnot. But that's what I mean by the deep state. And that's the narrative they put out there. And in a nutshell, fam, Obama ordered Comey, and now we know this because the transcripts are out. You know, this was the House Intelligence Committee. They had people under oath. He ordered Comey to continue to spy on his main political rival under the lie that Trump was colluding with the Russians. And they had no empirical evidence whatsoever. And Obama, not only did he okay the fact that they were targeting Flynn, he kind of egged it on. Because if you think they got General Flynn on the Logan Act, right? Who is a constitutional lawyer who knows about something that hasn't been used against anybody since the late 1800s? Who would come up with that? I mean, that's the dark, deep web of this whole thing. Because to me, the question is, you know, why would Donald Trump, why would Flynn be so hated by Barack Obama? Now, I told you about this, fam. We talked about this. Everybody out there, if you can remember when we killed Osama bin Laden, when you had the Situation Room, when you had Obama, Hillary Clinton. Well, after that, a lot of young people took to the streets, you know what I'm saying, to celebrate the retaliation or the justice of sorts. But it was also this notion of like, see, Obama and the Democrats, we're not weak on foreign policy. We're not weak on the military. We just got Osama bin Laden, you know what I'm saying? And it had that kind of like, he was doing a victory lap and everybody was praising Obama. And, oh, this is the liberal who can also, you know, keep us safe by getting our enemies who attacked us, all those people who lost family members in the tower on those planes. They're now avenged, you know what I'm saying? But as he was doing his victory lap, a guy who worked in his cabinet by the name of General Flynn was going on Al Jazeera and talking to Mehdi Hassan. Now, there's a 3-minute clip up here, and I think it's important to watch the whole thing. But once again, he was the guy. And this is kind of funny because when you go back, when Tulsi got accused for being anti-Islamic or Islamophobic, because she was saying these are not moderate rebels, don't lie. General Flynn was also echoing that same sentiment, saying that Obama's policy was wrong in Syria. And Obama hated Flynn for doing so. Here is the interview with Mehdi Hassan in 2015 on Al Jazeera. Go ahead.
People would argue that the US actually saw the rise of ISIL coming and turned a blind eye, or even encouraged it as a counterpoint to Assad. And a secret analysis by the agency you ran, the Defense Intelligence Agency, in August 2012 said, and I quote, "There is the possibility of establishing a declared or undeclared Salafist," it's not secret anymore, it was released under FOI. The quote is, "There is the possibility of establishing a declared or undeclared Salafist principality in eastern Syria, and this is exactly what the supporting powers to the opposition want in order to isolate the Syrian regime." The US saw the ISIL caliphate coming and did nothing.
Yeah, I think that where we missed the point, I mean, where we totally blew it, I think, was in the very beginning. I mean, we're talking 4 years now into this effort in Syria. Most people won't even remember. It's only been a couple of years. The Free Syrian Army, that movement. I mean, where are they today? Al-Nusra, where are they today? And how much have they changed? When you don't get in and help somebody, they're going to find other means to achieve their goals. And I think right now what we have allowed is...
Hold on, you were helping them in 2012.
We've allowed this extremist... these extremist militants to come in.
But why did you allow them to do that, General? You were in post. You were the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency.
Well, those are policy.
I took the liberty of printing out that document.
Yeah.
This is the memo I quoted from. Did you see this document in 2012? Was this come across your table? One of your analysts wrote?
Yeah. I paid very close attention to all this.
So when you saw this, did you not pick up a phone and saying, "What on earth are we doing supporting these Syrian rebels?"
That kind of information is presented, and
what did you do about it?
Those become. I argued about it.
Did you say we shouldn't be supporting these groups?
I did. I mean, we argued about the different groups that were there, and we said, who is it that is involved here? And I will tell you that I do believe that the intelligence was very clear, and now it's a matter of whether or not policy is going to be as clear and as defining and as precise as it needs to be, and I don't believe it was.
Just on what you're saying, just to clarify here, you're saying today.
Pretty much right there, he goes on to talk about it. What he questioned the policy that was put in place by Barack Obama, and Barack Obama has always said his worst mistake was Syria. More than anything, his worst mistake was what happened in Syria. And you can see it doesn't have a lot of views. In a lot of places, John, I tried to look for it. It was taken down. Like, I had to go search for it for a while. It was taken down from the CNN article that was written. It was taken down from another article. So I had to kind of go out and look for that and find that. But for General Flynn, and you can see him right there, you know, he was being pretty political and stuff like that, but he was exposing the fact that he did argue with Obama about the policies that were enacted in Syria. That was right around the same time when Obama was kind of lying to the public and saying, oh, you know what, these are moderate rebels, and Tulsi was saying no. These were the people who were pitting against them, that were pushing back against them. So Obama had the eye on Flynn and said, okay, the intelligence community will make our statement be known to Donald Trump. We'll take out his national security advisor. And Obama, guess what? You get to have your cake and eat it too, the guy you hate. So the big question is, fam, is now that these transcripts have come out, Obamagate is there. Obviously, he's the man behind the curtain. He's the Wizard of Oz who directed Comey to keep going on with the same type of actions when they had no empirical evidence whatsoever, to also target Flint, to keep this narrative out. You know, and like I said, the mainstream media was nothing but a bullhorn. Nothing but a bullhorn for the propaganda, and that's all it is. They constantly lied, muddied the waters, made it confusing for the public to understand. They had the public thinking that Flynn lied about his ties to Russia, and it wasn't. It was just like a conversation that he said, you don't even need a lawyer, and they moved him, they maneuvered him right into a plea. And when they did is when they got him months after, when it appeared like the election had already been gone and he was dealing with Russia. So the real question is here, fam, we know that the Russiagate pretty much now is started with Obama. But I have a little clip here question from the show Game of Thrones, fam.
You the order? Who gave you the order? Who gave you the order? Who gave you the order?
Who gave the order, fam? Was Obama giving the order, or was Obama ordered to give the order? I mean, that is the real question to me right now, is like, we know that Obama is the one who kind of set this in motion. Who told, you know what I'm saying? He even said, what are we going to do with Flynn in a conversation? It's all there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Obama plays a good little soldier for the intelligence community. He plays his game well. Obama is a representative, the symbolic leader right now. The guy that was able to convince all these people to drop out and endorse Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally had conversations with people to convince them.
Yes.
So Obama is the man behind the curtain, but who is actually controlling
Who's
the
pulling
whole
the strings?
That's
Is
that's
it the
a deeper
Clintons? I
question.
mean, are they working together? It's like,
Right.
but we talk about the electoral policy. He was whipping the phone. Amy, you got to drop out. Pete, you got to drop out. You know what I'm saying? Now he's the one we see it.
Yep.
This is going to ruin his legacy. And it's really, really disgusting because they use the media to get this narrative out, and they pretty much paralyzed the government for 3 years. And let me tell you something, fam, and I'll hand it over to you one
vilified
second.
everybody else,
They
too.
did. Totally. But they paralyzed the government. More than anything, they disabled Donald Trump, who was the elected president of the United States, for having any peace talks with Russia or anything close to achieving peace with Russia. Because they set this narrative in play that he was a treasonous Russian fucking mole that was working for Vladimir Putin. And they wasted our time. They gave us Russiagate, Ukrainegate. It was all full of shit. And a lot of people like Pelosi, Schumer, Schiff, Obama, the Clintons, they really should pay a price, because this is treason on the highest level. Whether we like it or not, and we know on the show, none of us here in this fucking room voted for Donald Trump. He was still the elected president. For you to play these games and using the intelligence community like you did, it is really some deep, dark Game of Thrones shit, and I'm glad he got caught.
Well, it's just clear, like, as corrupt as the Republicans are, the Democrats turn right back and try to say, hold my beer, and out-corrupt them. I mean, that's what this game is. It's who can trick people into believing that they're going to do anything for them, and who can trick people into continuing to play their little game. And I think the whole lesson in Game of Thrones, and what you should have played, fam, is Khaleesi burning everything down, because that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at. That
Well,
we
you
need
may
to
have
just
to do
burn
it.
everything down.
Fucking down.
There's just what's the point? I mean, the Democrats come out and they waste our time with Russiagate. Not only Russiagate, but right now, both parties are pushing a new Cold War with China.
Yeah.
So to me, that is the most dangerous thing right now, because that also could involve nuclear war. And that would be absolutely on top of a pandemic, on top of economic recession, on top of environmental climate catastrophe. You add all those things, that is it. Like these are very powerful people that have zero accountability to any of us, and I think it's time they start paying the price.
They think they're morally right, fam. They have no account. They think that they're justified in doing what they do because at the end of the day, they're morally right. But Trump, Orange Man, bad. No. And just like they use the mainstream media, they're doing it again now. Okay, what they're doing on Twitter now, they're censoring hashtag
it's fascism.
Obamagate. That is fascism.
You're
talking
fascism,
millions and millions.
Period.
And they're doing it.
They keep asking people, are you sure you want to send that? Now with every single thing. Twitter, Facebook, I have seen multiple people on my friends list talk about, hey, we're being censored, we're being this, we're being that. And it's ridiculous.
They employ fascism through private companies.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
That's the corporate state working too as well. So yeah, I mean, and also we talk about the Hollywood minions out there, right? We've talked a lot about Alyssa Milano on the show and what she does. You know, not only are they scrubbing that, but take a look. I had to write something to my friend over there, Dave Di Battista. If you don't know who Dave Battista is, he was the wrestler Batista in the WWE. For many years, he was really, really big. But then he sprung off into Hollywood. He was in Guardian of the Galaxy. He was the blue guy. Nothing gets over my head. I'm way too quick. I forgot what that character's name is. But that is Batista. He was also in Stauber, the new movie, when he was like, he's gotten his badge taken, whatever, and he calls it Uber to go out and do shit with him, whatever. That's Batista. He's been a new Hollywood kind of guy, sprung up since he's left wrestling about 4 years ago. Yeah. You know what this whole hashtag Obamagate feels like to me? It feels like the good old boys got together and said, how do we get our flock to look away from our incompetence and rally behind us? Answer, start pointing fingers at the black guy. Yeah, that'll do it. Just saying. So I told him, so disappointing, Dave. Looks like those Hollywood elites got you singing their song. The fuck out of here with your bullshit identity deflection attack. Obama turned Libya into a slave market. It's obvious you don't know shit about how Obama ruined people's lives with his lies and corruption. And fam, this is to me is one of the most disgusting things. Using identity politics here.
Yep.
And you're talking about this is the highest level. This is the crown. This is Cersei. This is Ned Stark. I mean, these are millions of people, millions of lives they have affected. Obama, what he did in Libya and stuff, and you're going to sit here and try to turn this into, oh, it's the black guy. They're just doing this because Obama's black. He just attacked a fucking president.
That's a neoliberal defense. That is a neoliberal defense. Kids in cages, Obama's black, you can't say anything. But I think Obama's legacy
is ruined.
But it's not, though. That's the thing. It's not yet. More people need to know. More people need to know who he really was, how he took us from 2 to 7 wars, how he literally built the cages that people are now complaining Trump is promoting, and like how his foreign policy was disastrous, like
terrible.
Hillary Clinton giving her that much power, how he abandoned people in Michigan, abandoned people in these states that they lost their jobs because of NAFTA. This is why we have Donald Trump. You want to blame somebody for Donald Trump? This is why Obama is a huge part, the main reason why we have Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That while there was some racism driven, a lot of it was economic, and a lot of the people were righteously mad at him for that, and not taking that criticism and saying, "Oh yes, we did wrong," is literally fomenting more of a racial divide.
Yeah,
because you're literally ignoring what is actually wrong with Obama and just blaming it on the fact that he was the black president.
Especially in a situation like this, fam.
Yeah.
Especially in a situation like this. No, he got caught. You know what I'm saying? He went and, listen, the worst thing you can do is go against the will of the people when it comes to elected officials, as far as I'm concerned. That's the biggest fraud of all. Because that means you're planting in your own policies, your own ways, and everything like that. That's corrupt at the highest level. And what he did was actually treasonous. And what they did was they acted like Donald Trump was just making shit up and bullshit and whatnot. No, you got caught. You even said to let's go after General Flynn. You made it a target. You had no evidence whatsoever, and you kept on pushing this narrative. You paralyzed our government for 4 years, but Trump.
Yep.
But fucking Trump. And Glory Jones says his character's name is Drax, Basta. Thank you, Glory Jones. He's done. He is done, Dave Bautista. Nina's always appreciated on the couch shirt. Oh, that's a good idea, that girl. That's what that. Thank you for the super chat contribution. It's always appreciated on the couch. We need to get that shirt, fam. You got to wear that.
Oh my God.
And you are always appreciated on the show, that girl.
Thank
and so
you,
is everybody
guys.
who joined in today. Thank you so much. I just wanted to show real quick before we get out of here with the Obamagate and get on to the last subject, the artwork that's out there, because there's some really cool artwork, fam. First of all, this one right here with the all roads leading to Obamagate. And it's got all this stuff: Page Parkway, CNN Lane, Clapper Road, Schiff Way, CIA Boulevard. It has Brennan in there.
Hilarious.
I think it's got,
That's really good.
It's a Deep State Drive.
Comey Avenue.
Struck Street. And let me tell you something. Comey has bundled every little fucking thing he's touched. He has gone to shit on everything. Nobody should listen to this guy. This guy was going around doing a book tour. I mean, he's awful,
and
this guy.
people would do the same artwork if it was another neoliberal, whether he was white or not. And that's the thing. A neoliberal is a neoliberal. It doesn't matter what color they are.
I like the Clinton, the Nixon one. Remember Nixon when he left, when he got fired? The last thing he did. This is when Nixon got fired. He did the peace sign, and then he got in the helicopter. Well, we got Obamagate. Get on out of here, pal. You done got caught. You've been exposed.
And it's funny because everything that's now related to Obama is going to be, especially by the right and independents who don't like the Democrats already, is like, okay, hell no. We're not voting for anybody backed by Obama. And guess who Joe Biden is? He was Obama's VP. That is like awful. This is like perfect for the Republican Party. They're like, what it's looking to me is like Trump is going to win this next election.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's looking like to me.
And here's another good one, fam, just because we were talking about, I don't know what we was talking about, but I think Forrest Gump somebody was talking about it the other day. Bubblegum shrimp, and just like that, Obamagate.
That's terrible.